Marcel Mark.
Woo.
And I want to share and say thanks for Mrs. Mark, Mrs. Mark, for all that you have given to students, not just in Trinidad,
That's right.
but particularly, well, not particularly, because so many years you spent in Trinidad, but in Tobago, in Tobago, and his Mrs. Mark, her sisters, involved in the work in Tobago and so on. And many, many people, I'm sure, could testify, like Rajiv and others, of the kind of impact you've made on their lives over the years. In fact, I'm thinking of one teacher now who's at Signal Hill, Kathleen Gilbert, Bernadette Gilbert. I mean, even if the student work is to drag Bernadette Gilbert, this teacher at Signal Hill will still hold it up. And I know a lot of it is, yes, I am committed to God, and I've seen others, particularly Marcel Mark, work in this student ministry and seen lives being transformed, and she wants to continue it. But I want to go a little bit more before that. When I was, I think, sixth form, upper sixth or so. Yes, upper sixth. We had, and we are going to do that again in fact, this year coming January, we are reverting to that as well. We had competitions among the ICF clubs. So, like I was involved with a group from Tunapuna Sec Sisters, and singing, and I mean, some of you might have, there was a group that came out later as Charis, and so on. There was a QRC, you know, it was real fun. And I remember we had a competition, and I think it was the finals or something. It was held at UB St. Augustine. And we needed for our piece, I think it was I'm not sure if it was some kind of dramatic piece. We needed a ball. You remember? We needed a ball or something. And somehow the person supposed to bring the ball wasn't there. Didn't bring the ball or whatever. And that's the first time I think I met Mrs. Mark. Because she was a student, maybe just recent student and lived at Trinity Hall. And she was the one who I think said, who came and got this ball first. And that stuck in my mind because I knew Kelvin long before. I think I knew Kelvin before that. You know, Kelvin was my big brother. And I didn't know the connection yet. If there was any connection, you know. But she helped me with that and helped our group. At that time, I think I was a St. George's student. Yeah, sixth form. And I think that, and as you say, you want to from a different perspective. And Marcel has, Miss Mark, Marcel has always been very helpful and encouraging. And I think we've seen it right through. It was then, my first trip to Tobago was, of course, to stay in Marcel's house. And her encouragement, even then, was seen. And I want to thank you for that. Now I just want to go back to the schools ministry. Even at UB, one of the things that stands out in my mind is the Sunday school ministry. The Sunday school ministry. Would you believe students came to the University of the West Indies, have studies, involved in the club, whether it's IBCF, and still took up a Sunday school ministry. And I believe Marcel was the one who headed this. She came as a Sunday school superintendent from her church. So there was a need for children. In fact, for those of you who will soon be at UB, but your friends can tell you, right across the highway now you have all sorts of houses and apartments. But that is sweet houses and a lot of bush. And they found the students, the young people in that area, and they will come across and meet in 107, that's all, and have Sunday school. So that was a ministry that was started in your year, if I remember, in the year with Marcel and in their IBCF. So they didn't just look out for the students on the campus, but the people, the community. So when I hear the students talk about Marcel having a door open and willing to listen to people and so on, it's not a put on. It was there all the while. Even when you had the studies, she was looking out for the students around. To me, that particularly, when I hear that stuck with me. It was really, really tremendous. And well, I know I heard Bridges for the story from what you told about. I suppose Kevin will talk about that later. Putting off even your marriage for 2 years. Twice. to stay in Tobago, to see about young people, the students ministry. And I find that is tremendous when I heard that again. Right? Ms. Mark Marcel has served at Belmont Boys, not a government school. This is a religious school, and not even in her denomination. Right? A religious school, but served there as vice principal, acting vice principal, for over 20 years. He taught there for about 20 years. 23 years, and then for a number of years served as acting, 3 years served as acting vice principal and principal. And it's not even a government school, but it just goes to show her ability to work across the lines with anybody and not force. And like what Richard said earlier on, standing up as a child of God and yet not being obnoxious and not being a person who wants to force anything on anybody, but standing calmly and pleasantly for what she believes in. And I'm sure you all would have seen that, and others as well. And Marcel, we really want to thank you for that example being able to hold out, And then just recently, in particular, Ms. Mark has helped us with the National Christian Educators Forum. Not just in being one of the main speakers, but in helping to put it together and advising. And from all reports and feedback, people found it was tremendous. They found we tried to hold it down too much. That should have been advertised to all and sundry. Content was solid. And myself, we really want to thank you on behalf of the ICS staff, not just Richie from Roxanne, the others, Anne-Marie, Chandra, Helena, Alana,
Anthony,
Mrs. Thompson, Adam,
Anthony,
and Anthony. All right? We want to thank you as staff for all you have been doing for us recently and in the past. And I also want to say thank you on behalf of the ISIDC board. Tremendous, tremendous. I mean, these years cannot be replaced. Cannot be replaced. And I think particularly on the Tobago work, you have contributed, and your sisters Margaret and Peggy. Thank you so much for everything.